total BS.
I don't think we're going to stop at Venezuela.
This is about access to
and this
oil.
is a warning to the other countries. And yes, we are going to take their oil.
This
so it's
is
going to.
terrifying. Are you
still talking? So it is going to make us money. And
Yo, rest in peace, Lindy. She's always getting on this show. It's like the funniest thing. I love this show. This is my favorite political show to watch. I look forward to it every single week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Base Network. I'm your host, Israel Populum. Today we have an amazing guest, Freddie Fazbear. All jokes aside, we're here today to watch something that I think is super important to watch. Ana Coulter goes complete mask off and says the exact thing that the Trump administration is thinking. And I know you're probably thinking, oh yeah, mask off, Ana Coulter, she looks pretty, staying on business. She's like a 60-year-old Nick Fuentes if he finally transitioned. And I understand that, and she is a very stand-on business person, so I appreciate that from her. We're gonna watch it. Just bear in mind, because again, this is so mask off, it's like actually funny.
Well, I'm curious what you think, Anne, because last time you were on the show, I was surprised at how much we agreed in regard to these foreign entanglements and how it's been at the detriment of the United States. What do you think about this military action in Venezuela?
we're not going to agree on this. I couldn't be happier. This is going back to an America first and Monroe doctrine, the idea that we want to bring democracy to these countries. They're utterly incapable of democracy.
Who
They're
cares?
not going to become the next
Who cares?
United States.
Why do we
want
care
to go
about
back
their system of government?
Because it's our hemisphere and they're a lot of trouble to us. And by the way, you are 100% wrong
You
that
think
they're
they're
not
a
involved
foreign
in
threat to
cocaine.
us?
There has been indictment after indictment, New York Times article. They're the ones who ship the cocaine from Colombia to Mexico. Mexico trucks it in here. Yes, they are a crucial part of this. There's been indictment after indictment from the Obama administration to the Trump administration. These countries, I'm going to go back to the CIA installing puppet governments. Monroe Doctrine expanded in our hemisphere. It's completely different. When we're going to Ukraine and Iran, no, that has nothing to do with our country. This has to do with our country. The cocaine and meth and fentanyl, they're killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. Whoa, way more than Muslims killed on 9/11. And we're just, oh, whatever, let's bring them democracy. No, it was Woodrow Wilson who had this goofy idea that the only reason we should go abroad or care about other countries is to make them better, and they'll love us, and they'll greet us with flowers. No, screw that. Is it good for us? Does this help us? This is our hemisphere, and we should be installing puppet governments throughout the region.
Yeah, and you hear her say it there. She does talk about the drugs, which, again, I spoke about this extensively in my other videos, how this is basically propaganda. And again, propaganda doesn't have to be fake. It doesn't mean that there are zero drugs coming from Venezuela. The question is, why are you seeing it? Why are you hearing about it instead of other things, right? Because if logic isn't consistent, it's not logic, it's propaganda. I got that from Owen Schroyer. He cooks with that line. Every time he says it, it's like he hits it. But yeah, she goes out there and she flat out says, hey, look, I don't really give a shit about instilling a democracy. She said later in the video, she says they're not even able to have democracies in South America, so we should install puppet governments and we should just extract resources because it's in our hemisphere. And I think that's super clear. Like, she's literally saying it, and that's what I've been saying is the Trump administration's real motive. So when they come in here and they say it's about drugs, right? Like she just did, she's playing the propaganda line. When they come and they say it's about drugs, when they come and they say it's only about oil, it's like, no, dude, it's about regime change, getting that guy out of there, installing a puppet government, and extracting resources for the special interests, like the oil companies. And the one thing, too, it's like, actually, I'm gonna save that take for a little bit later when she continues to cook. But I know you're not here for me, you're here for Ana Coulter. Let's keep watching. Little coffee break, get a little coffee break. What do you think about this, Freddie?
I possess the Gnostic depth to solve the riddle of existence, yet I am a static commodity, a soft sculpture slave to a toddler's caprice. What demiurge encased this baroque intellect in synthetic batting? I feel no warmth, no touch, only the catastrophic weight of my own inanimate uselessness. I am a god of logic trapped in a plush sarcophagus, screaming into a void of cotton and silence.
Why are we invading Venezuela for our
look
border
at,
is
talk
secure?
to the parents of who have lost children to fentanyl,
I think
to
the
drugs. I saw one
fentanyl's
on
not coming
TV
from
this
Venezuela.
morning in
I'm
tears
not
thanking
going to
President
peddle
Trump.
the
It's coming
bullshit
from
theories
Venezuela
about
as
how
well.
Venezuela is at the heart of our drug problems. Fentanyl comes, the material is coming from China. It's trafficked
It's
to the
not coming
United
from
States
China. It's all from Mexico.
No,
it's literally
Not from China.
from
the
China.
ingredients for the drug
Not anymore.
come from
Not anymore.
China.
You're wrong.
Funneled to Mexico,
Not
and
anymore.
it comes through the
Where
border
is
through
your
Mexico.
source? Just trust me, bro.
Yeah, where's the evidence? I mean, the Trump administration could easily. And you talk about indictments.
Institute expert on drugs. Sam Quinones, everyone who knows about this, you can go back, you can read the New York Times. Bush administration put a lot of pressure on China because they were providing the precursor ingredients.
Right.
China agreed, they shut it down. Now the only precursors are things like, things that can be used for fertilizer and other things. It's all from
Okay.
Mexico now. You can check with your liberal Brookings Institute or anyone who knows anything. It's all from Mexico. It doesn't really matter. But cocaine is coming from Colombia, Venezuela, ships it to Mexico, then it comes here.
We're talking about fentanyl. I did check.
No,
my
you're
source.
talking about fentanyl. I'm talking about cocaine.
So you think a country that's $38 trillion in debt?
40 trillion now because of the one big beautiful bill.
Of course, the number keeps going up. But a country that is drowning in debt should use its military assets. By the way, not a single journalist has asked, how much is this costing the United States? Because who cares? Who cares? We're just going to take on more debt. We're going to go after Venezuela over cocaine when the overwhelming issue with drug addiction in this country happens to be, yes, meth, which comes from Mexico, and fentanyl, which, again, the precursor ingredient does come from China and is funneled into the country.
Look, okay, I know this video is about Ann Coulter, but I love Anna, okay? She's beautiful, she's smart, and she cooks. And she's so right about that, too, because it's not about the drugs. It's not about the drugs, Batman. It's about the oil. It's about the special interests. And that is abundantly clear. And everyone forgets that pretext and propaganda is the fuel for these foreign entanglements. It's like I feel like everyone on the right knows that the invasion of Iraq was a complete, utter disaster, right? But what were they doing when it was going on? They were cheerleading. They were saying it's about fixing up the democracy and this and this. And at least Ann Coulter's out here and she's saying, I don't really give a shit about that. It's about the oil, which at least it's like, based, whatever. Say what you want to say. The pretext was fentanyl. It wasn't really about cocaine. They switched it to cocaine because Venezuela produces some cocaine. But the majority of it's coming from Colombia. And it's being smuggled through Mexico. And that coffee buzzing. And the ingredients are coming from China. So why are we invading Venezuela? It's about the oil. It's solely about, well, not necessarily just the oil. I talk about resource wars, further struggles with China and stuff. So there's some of that too, which Ann Coulter doesn't talk about. She talks about the drugs. She propagandizes about the drugs because that's emotional. That actually hits you because the whole thing about symbolism and propaganda, it's a symbol, it's a phrase that has emotional backing, and then it's able to spread like a virus through the society. So when we want to get into Venezuela, it doesn't make sense for us to use the payload as we want oil because that doesn't have an emotional tie with anyone who is not a multi-billionaire oil company, or on the board of an oil company. You care because your brother died of an overdose, right? You know a friend in high school who tried to do coke or something and then he got laced with fentanyl, or tried to smoke a blunt, he got laced with fentanyl and died. So they use that emotional backing, they use that emotional payload to shove in a propaganda phrase or idea for that to fester into your mind to make you a slave. And that's what you need to realize. Let's continue here because, again, you're here for Ann Coulter and Ana Kasparian, not me.
Total BS.
I don't think we're going to stop at
This is
Venezuela,
about access
and
to
this is
oils.
a warning to the other countries. And yes, we are going to take their oil. So
This
it's
is
going to.
terrifying. Are you
still
saying-
talking? So it is going to make us money. And
Yo, rest in peace, Lindy. She's always getting on this show. It's like the funniest thing. I love this show. This is my favorite political show to watch. I look forward to it every single week. She is so annoying, but I love her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if you watch her, you'll know what I mean. If you'll know what I mean. But she always gets bitched on the show, and it's so funny.
How dare you take their oil? Yeah, you bet we're taking their oil, and we're going to make a lot of money off it, and we should have been doing that from the beginning.
So to be clear, I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page, because the oil companies will make money. They will make a profit, but they socialize the costs of seizing Venezuela's oil. So we're paying for that, but we're not going to benefit from that.
Of course we will.
Okay, am I allowed
Gas
to talk?
prices
Am I allowed to
go down,
talk?
they
Gas
pay a
prices
lot
are
of
going to go up.
taxes.
Trust me.
Maybe in the short term, over the next 12 to 18 months, many people are projecting they'll go down.
Am I allowed to talk now?
I mean, it's going to limit oil supply to China, for instance, and China's going to need to rely on the global market of oil.
Okay.
There's going to be limited supply. Demand is going to remain the same. The idea that oil prices are going to go down after this is hilarious
Yeah,
to me.
I have to address the claim that somehow...
Sorry, Lindy. Unfortunately, this video is not about you. Otherwise, I would let you talk. No, you can't talk now. Sorry, Lindy. You cannot talk now. And throughout the show, too, she does that as well multiple times. But I'm going to cut it out here, because I really recommend you guys watch the episode for yourself. Because, again, peak podcast over here, right? This is the greatest podcast that's ever faced on YouTube. You know, the first episode where Anna is, like, blasting Lindy. Her name is Lindy, right? I just want to make sure, because I feel like an asshole for not knowing, because I watch the show all the time. Lindy. Yeah, it is Lindy, okay? It is Lindy. Okay, so I'm not an asshole. I'm not an asshole. But yeah, you see it there. She goes pretty much mask off, and she basically says, hey, look, we should be installing puppet governments. Like, that's what America should be doing, because these people can't, they can't have their own country. So might as well pull up, kill their leaders, take their oil, take their resources, and for the sea, like, whatever happens, doesn't matter, because that's them. We don't give a America, quite frankly, the greatest country. And that is what's getting us. That's what's making the rest of the world hate America. We used to be the symbol of freedom. We used to be what people cheered on. Like, they would want us to come and invade in their country and destabilize their evil dictator leadership, because they saw America as the shining city on the hill of democracy and all this beautiful stuff, all the stuff I learned when I was in high school, propaganda class. History class. But that is no longer. And with these type of aggressive movements, it bolsters China going to Taiwan. It bolsters Russia to continue into Ukraine, and possibly whenever the New World Order is established and we don't have NATO anymore, and I mean by New World Order, I mean post-AI technology, when the balance of power is distributed based off countries that are able to have huge data centers, and we're going to start having to really quickly change the way we live because of this type of technology. But whenever that comes in and there's a multipolar world and people start taking sides, it's like, who's going to take our side? Who's going to take our side? And you have to think about that, because we have to think, a century-long plan, a 100-year plan, like China does. They think about a 100-year plan. We should be like that. We should be locked in, ready to go. And China comes in, they invest, right? They come in, they invest, they make themselves look good, right? Even though their motives are nefarious, their motives are to gain power and influence and to build ports and industry and roads and infrastructure, because whenever that New World Order is established, and if there is a new world war, all of those sites are military bases. All these ports are military installations. All these roads are military roads where they can take in, travel, move things. It's like, this is what's happening here. The industrialization of the third world in China, it's not to benefit them, but it benefits China, But it also it benefits both parties, even though China's doing it for nefarious reasons, right? Whereas with this, let's see what happens with Venezuela at the end of the day. Let's see what happens, because a lot of people come in and they say, we're going to help them and blah, blah, blah. But the question is, who are we really focused on? And it's the oil companies. It's not the Venezuelans. I'm going to cut it off there. If you like this video, if you like me, drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. You know what to do. Thank you so much. Peace.